Hi YouTube, it's Kathy. If you're here, you probably know that this video is about a musical, which means that there might be singing. So if you're my best friend or you hate musicals, you might just want to not watch this one. She loves me, but she doesn't love my singing, and you know, that's fine. I haven't really had any instructions since 2004. I'm also going to sing these songs a cappella because I don't have time to deal with YouTube thinking that I've used copyright material when I'm just quoting things with my own voice. This is an original tag created by myself and Beck over at Mooney Reads by Starlight, so I will link theirs down below. And we're making this in conjunction with the Rent Readathon, which starts next week. We decided to use 10 of the songs from the musical Rent to create bookish questions, and here they are. Only thing to do is jump over the moon. For Over the Moon, you're meant to tell us about the weirdest book that you've experienced. For this, I chose Raw Shark Texts by Stephen Hall. I read this over a decade ago, so it's a little bit spotty in my memory, but I remember while reading it that I thought that I was losing my mind. When this book starts, our protagonist wakes up and he doesn't really remember who he is. And that's all I really remember, besides there was a point where they were kind of going through these tunnels made of paper, I think. Obviously, my reading experience of this book could be completely different nowadays, but I remember thinking it was doing weird things to my brain when I read it all those years ago. In daylight, in sunsets, in midnights, in cups of coffee, in inches, in miles, in laughter, in strife. 525,600 minutes. How do you measure a life? For Seasons of Love, we want you to tell us about a book that doesn't center romantic love. For this one, an obvious standout for me is Loveless by Alice Oseman. This centers friendship. This is about an Ace Arrow main character coming into realizing that that's what she is. This is also set in the first year of post-secondary. There's theater, there's antics. I just really enjoyed the whole cast of this book. We'll open up a restaurant in Santa Fe. Sunny Santa Fe would be nice. We'll open up a restaurant in Santa Fe and leave this to the roaches and mice. For Santa Fe, we want you to tell us about a book that has to do with travel. For this one, I want to talk about Gears for Queers by Lilith Cooper and Abigail Melton. This is a wonderful non-fiction book that takes place throughout Europe. It's written by two lovers, and we get both of their points of view back and forth throughout their bike trip through Europe, and it just really made me want to travel in Europe, and it actually made me want to go on a bike tour even though I am not that fit. Take me for who I am, who I was meant to be, and if you give a damn, take me baby, or leave me. For Take Me or Leave Me, we want you to tell us about an unapologetic character. For this one, I chose the titular character from The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. Evelyn does not give a shit what you think about her. She is going to do what she wants to get what she wants. She knows what her assets are, she knows what her worth is, and she will do whatever she wants to succeed. Live in my house, I'll be your shelter. Just pay me back with 1,000 kisses. Be my lover, I'll cover you. For I'll Cover You, we want you to tell us about your favorite literary couple, and for me, this changes based on what is the most recent literary couple I've read. I don't really have that one couple that is like the OTP, the goals, all of that. I just kind of think of the most recent couple that I've read, so for this one it has to be Elizabeth and Nathaniel from Sorcery of Thorns. There was a lot going on in this book, so their romance was definitely not central to it, and I liked that we got this slow build from kind of an enemies to lovers thing. What's the time? Why, it's gotta be close to midnight. My body's talking to me. It says time for danger. It says I wanna commit a crime. Wanna be the cause of a fight. I wanna put on a tight skirt and flirt with a stranger. It's like Bagheera knew that I was singing a song that takes place in the Kit Kat Club. For Out Tonight, we want you to tell us about a character whose personality cannot be contained, and that, for me, will always be Julian Diaz from Cemetery Boys. I've described this character as a puppy, but in the best possible way. He has boundless energy and enthusiasm and love for his friends, and I just adore him. But I die without you. Couldn't make it through this tag without a blatantly sad song. For Without You, we want you to tell us about a sad book that you enjoyed. For me, this will always be Words in Deep Blue by Cath Crowley. This one is about grief. It's a bookish book, so I'm predisposed to love those. It takes place in a family second-hand bookstore, but there's different layers to heartache and friendship and heartbreak and grieving, and I will always love this book. One song, glory. One song before I go, glory. One song to leave behind. For One Song, Glory, we want you to tell us about a character who gets a second chance. For this one, I'm going with Dominic from Love Her or Lose Her, which is the second book in the Hot and Hammered series, which is just a fantastic series name, by the way. Dominic is not super great about talking about his feelings or sex, and obviously these are things you need to discuss with your wife or you're going to lose her. I've read the first two books in these series. I really enjoyed them. They're wonderful romance books, and I look forward to reading more. I was singing to myself for quite a while because my camera cut off and I didn't hear it. To days of inspiration, playing hooky, making something out of nothing. The need to express, to communicate, to going against the grain. Going insane, going mad. To loving tension, no pension. To more than one dimension. To starving for attention, hating convention, hating pretension. Not to mention, of course, hating dear old mom and dad. To riding your bike midday past the three-piece suits. To fruits, to no absolutes, to absolute, to choice, to the Village Voice, to any passing fad. To being an us for once, instead of them. La Vie Boheme. For La Vie Boheme, we want you to tell us about a book that inspires you. For me, I'm going to use a very recent read, which is Girl Sleuth, Nancy Drew, and the Women Who Created Her. It is a non-fiction book about the creation of the character Nancy Drew. This was incredibly informative. I found out a lot of things about these women, and it makes me want to read all my old Nancy Drews, which I already kind of wanted to do, but now I really want to. I know there's going to be problematic elements in these books, which is why I haven't reread them since I was about 12, but when I reread them, I will be sure to address those. Today for you, tomorrow for me. For Today for You, we want you to tell us about a character who is very generous. I hate to double dip on book tags and use the same book for different prompts, but I couldn't think of another one. I want to use Silas from Sorcery of Thorns for this one. Silas is Nathaniel's demon. He's basically his personal servant, but you can see that they've actually created a relationship that goes beyond sorcerer and demon, and you see this throughout the book, and I really love seeing that, especially because demons are meant to be nice to you, but then be completely different when they're not in your service. And I'm not totally sold on the fact that Silas doesn't actually like Nathaniel. And there we go, those are the 10 song prompts for the Rent book tag. I'm going to be tagging some folks down below, but if you're not one of them, feel free to do this tag and then let me know because I want to see your answers. Have you read any of the books I mentioned? Let me know about it down in the comments below. On the way down to the comments, if you hit that subscribe button, that would be very nice of you. If you don't feel like leaving a comment but want to make sure that I know you're here, just leave an emoji or a smiley face if you're on your computer. Some people have asked if there's a way to financially support this channel, so I set up a Ko-fi account, which is a digital tipping service. The link for that is down below, as well as the link to my PayPal and my Amazon wishlist in case you would like to buy me a book. You can like and share this as you see fit, and I will see you very soon. Bye! I can hear my voice sounding weird because I attempted to sing today. I am not in practice whatsoever. I don't know that I ever was. Oh. for sure. I don't know how to breathe anymore.